Hi everyone, it's your Simmer here. So I'm back in Train Simulator, and I'm going to go ahead and going to do this run on the racetrack Aurora to Chicago line. So we're looking at 45 minutes, but a little bit of challenge, and I think that's simply because of the number of stops. It's a cold, snowy day in Chicago. Let's head down to the platform where it's a little warmer. Interesting. Got a tight schedule with a lot of stops, so let's get underway. Alright, City of Woodstock is the engine we've got. Okay, open your doors. So there we go. It should be good now. In anticipation, so open your doors, load your commuters here at Chicago Union Station in anticipation of a 1:30 time. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and put it into the setting. We've got the task log, so we're on Chicago train. 12:33 is early afternoon, all stops local from Chicago Union Station to Aurora, Illinois. Between Union Station and Aurora, train 12:33 makes 24 intermediate station stops. In this first of a two-part scenario, you will be making the run from Union Station to the 15th stop along the Chicago subdivision at Hinsdale. Power for your consist of bi-level gallery cars is a veteran EMD F40PH. So, yeah, we got 16 stops. Alright, go ahead and release the brake. Hopefully we won't start moving. All aboard, doors clear. Subject to signal indications, we are ready to proceed westbound, making all stops to Aurora. So I just need to be careful here. This thing has some power, I'll tell you that, compared to other locomotives I've used. Like, this thing jumped off the line. So, I've had this pack for a while. I've wanted to try it for a while, but I've kind of kept not doing it because I was like, you know, I'm sure I'll get interested, and then I won't do anything else. And part of the reason is, I think, you know, I've shared this at various points, but, you know, I'm born and grew up in Chicago, so I spent a lot of years on these exact trains. I can't see because we're inside still. I wanted to show the outside, but, like, I am very familiar with these trains, and was like, oh, I'd love to operate this, just see what it's like to, you know, my fascination with trains kind of began even as a kid with these, like, oh, it'd be really cool to be an engineer on one of these and pulling in and out of Chicago. Now, I didn't run this particular line. I was up in the northwest suburbs, so I was on the northwest line, where I think this line heads out west to Aurora, as it says. So, not familiar with the exact stops and so forth, but the concept will obviously be the same. They're the same trains, same consists, you know, obviously a bunch of stops and so forth. And this is exactly what I'm used to. I mean, I'd be leaving Union Station as well, but again, headed in a different direction ultimately. So what I'm not even aware of is this the same exit? It looks similar, but I would imagine everything is going to look a bit similar. And actually, it was not out of Union Station, it was out of Ogilvy Center, is what it's called. Union Station was next door. So if this is coming out of Union Station, then yeah, I'm thinking this is not where I want. Now, right now, like, this is not good because it's telling me that no, I guess I'm only, like, a little bit behind. But I better keep moving because I am behind a bit, and that's probably gonna cause me a problem. Get to speed up for a while. Again, I'm used to that. So you can see the train over there. Although that's an Amtrak, so that's different. But it's same kind of bi-level cars. So, there you go. So, whoops, I guess I went behind the building. It's like, did I lose my screen? Or what is happening? But, so, yeah, you can see, and they would definitely puff out that way. You know, I'd say they've done a good job in recreating what these look like, and yeah, next door there is exactly that. So you'd be watching those. I would always sit at the top level. It was easy to get individual seats that way. I did a lot of traveling when I was going to college, so I lived up in a northwest suburb, but was headed down into the city. Went to college at DePaul University, at both the downtown campus and the Lincoln Park campus, so I would take the Metro every day for that time for sure, and then I'd use the subway and other things as necessary. So probably don't need it running all the time, but intermittent wipers would be good, but these don't appear to have it. They're just either on or not. So yeah, I've cut the ETA a little bit, so maybe, I don't know, we'll see. I just need to be careful that I'm not getting too slow. I'm assuming we're going to go straight, but maybe we'll turn and head off that way. Again, I just don't know this route, and I've frankly been gone for, whoops, a long time. I'm losing points that I don't need to be losing. It's hard to go 10, especially when you feel you're behind schedule, so try to be more careful. But I've gone from 38, so yeah, I appear to at least be making up a little bit of time. It's just, can I make up enough to matter? That I don't know. It is pretty flat, so I would be surprised if there were a whole lot of grade issues around Chicago here. Alright, I guess we just need the wipers on. I should have my lights on too. So let me do that, especially in this weather. And this is pretty typical, especially in the winter time, obviously. So it happens to be winter time. I don't think the game takes any of that into account. I'm sure the scenario is just in a snowy day. It just happens to be that type of thing. It looks, ah boy. Lost a bit again. It is just so responsive. It is so hard to not just go, because it just does that. But I'm seeing that 25, and I can't wait to get moving a bit. But obviously can't do it quite yet, so I need to be careful. But yeah, the drawbridge that I think is never down, over to the left, I think that thing is permanently up, probably except when a train might be going across, I suppose. Alright, so now we go to 25. I don't know what the wheel slip is like on these things, but with the power of this, I, again, don't want to go insanely fast so that I don't go too far. And yeah, you'd get that shake when you'd hit the turns, so even that's pretty well recreated. It's not the straightest or the smoothest route in all cases. Not that I ever felt unsafe on the train or anything, but it was definitely one of those that it was always interesting. Well, there is a bit of a grade here, so just need to be careful that I don't push it too far. But we'll get to go 35, and then, well, then we're stopping in a very short distance here. So I want to speed up, but yeah, I don't know what the brakes are like, so I guess I need to be a bit careful. But I should be pulling already, and this is the concern, is that I'm just... I guess let me try the brakes. No, they are quick, which is what I would have expected. Alright. So, let me just get in there. Now, these trains are not very long. The platforms, as you can tell, are not very long either. So that may be a big part of it, too, is wow. Look. This is a very, very small platform. Alright, well, I did it at 38, but I don't know that it was early enough to count. I still wasn't at 39. I was wondering if I could fit on the whole platform, but obviously I couldn't. So let me get this down so that the brakes can turn off soon, and then we'll get moving, and hopefully we'll get a good amount. Clear. Alright. Next is Western Avenue. Alright, so I'm going to try to get going, because yeah, now we're pretty far behind, so wow, I'm already over a minute behind, so I'm going to need to move along here, and I would imagine they're not giving us a whole lot of extra time. So, just need to get up to speed and then, again, not blow past it. So I want to be careful, but I obviously want to... Wow, as soon as I touch the thing, I jump up like half a mile an hour. It's a little crazy. Alright, well, I am gaining a little bit of time, which is good. That's what I need, so I'm going to have to be a little bit gutsy right now, I think, to have a shot here. Because it does fall back to speed pretty quickly, so that's a good thing. I gained some time pretty quickly at one point, but now I'm just because I can go 60. I missed that. Well, that's bad. Alright. Because I bet I could have made up a good amount of time there, and I didn't, because I didn't realize that I was in a faster speed zone. I was just worried about getting there, and now I understand why I was losing time. But now I'm going to have the problem of potentially not being able to make up any time. So this was the fun part, too, is, you know, these things would get going pretty quickly in between stations. So you definitely, you know, knew you were making progress, and, you know, when I was a kid, it just, you know, felt like you were progressing, but you didn't really know for sure. Just figuring out how to get into these stops in time without blowing past them is the challenge. Because yes, they would definitely stop very, very quickly, so they wouldn't give a lot of time. I think this should work. We will see. At this point, I am on the platform. I don't think I have to be fully on the platform, so I'm going to take advantage of that. So as long as some doors are there, I mean, I think the better stop would be a little less dramatic than that, but this will work. So... but I don't know. With 15, I mean, we'll see. I got 63 last time. I lost like 22, I think, with the problem I had. So let our brakes go. Cicero next. I like the conductors. This is really almost exactly what they do and what they say. I feel like I'm on board a metro train again. It's exciting. No, I just don't know. I don't know. 50% is probably enough. It's not as if this thing is not speeding up. So compared to the other trains I've played in the sim, like this is very different. Alright, so it looks like we'll get to go up to 70. So at this point I can probably up it a bit more so that I can really top this thing out. We've got 3 miles to go. I'm within a minute, so I do know, that's probably where I need to be. But I'd really like to make up some time if I could. I just don't know how realistic that's going to be. But on a longer stretch like this where I can really get up to speed, I think is going to be my best opportunity, so I'm certainly going to try to take advantage of it. So getting close to the max here. I don't see anything else. You know, a lot of grade level crossings in Chicago. That is pretty common as well. But there's a viaduct there as well. So there's, you know, there's kind of both all the time. So yeah, it's having a hard time with me kind of working the throttle as I am. So, just trying to get to the point where I'm speeding up again. So at this point, once we're higher up, it does appear to need a little bit more power just to maintain. Now I gotta remember, I'm going 70 here, so I'm not gonna be able to get within a quarter mile and then stop, so I will have to be careful. But I'm super, super excited about how close I'm getting. I'm almost within 30 seconds, so it's hard not to be thrilled about that. Alright, we're a mile out. Probably need to stop accelerating. I'm gonna start here at 3/4 of a mile out. So again, obviously I don't want to blow by the platform. That would be a lot. And that would obviously cause some significant problems. Alright. So, it takes a little while for the brakes to respond, but not a ton of time, so I'll let it go here. We'll drift in a little bit. Looks like we got a freight coming through. Alright, so we've got the platform. Let's go ahead and get this turned up. And again, I'll have some cars on the platform. So we'll be good once I do. I guess I need to get that far. This is not good here. So definitely a little slower than I would have liked, so I kind of still stopped too fast. Sometimes the trains will do that, although usually on a platform like this they go all the way to the end. It's just if I do that, I'm going to really be risking late. I think if I stay within a minute, I'm assuming this scenario is going to be okay. I think that's, you know, considered okay. So I'm within 35 seconds here, but, alright, we don't have a grade, so again, I'm gonna release this. Alright, next stop, Laverne. Now, see, I got less, probably, because I just wasn't on time. Alright, I'm gonna see if I can speed up faster. I'm gonna risk a wheel slip penalty. to kind of test this out and see what I can do. Because yeah, at this point I'm still further, and I'm wondering if some of it had to do with how far back I was. I don't know. But yeah, this is a challenging scenario. You're just constantly doing stuff. But I do like the feel of it. Like I said, I wish it was on the Northwest line that I was more familiar with, where I could tell you like the scenery that I know. But the overall feel of it feels right. So I think they've done a great job in recreating this. I hope they do other areas in the city. That would be great. Mile out, I started slowing down before. I think I'm gonna wait. Oh, Berwyn's really close. And that's pretty typical, where stations are just kind of jam-packed together. So this will be the problem, because I'm kind of gonna stay on the same kind of schedule as I continue to do this. Still feel like I'm slowing down too fast because I'm a half a mile out and I'm going to be down to 40. Eek. So I think I'm going to let this drift longer than normal. I'm going to definitely get to within a quarter mile. Looks like right now I'm losing time again. So in theory, kind of risking it a little bit here, but I just really want to give this the shot of doing what I need. So we're going to let this go. And again, as long as I'm not past the platform, I think I'll be okay with all the cars, and I think this will stop faster than I think anyway, so at this point, yeah, we're taking a bit. So I'm not sure what I'm going to get, but the problem is now, as close as the next platforms are, I'm worried my issues are going to stack up. Like, I'm not going to make up time between platforms here, because we stop for a set amount of time regardless. And so if I'm, 38 seconds behind, you know, that's just not a good thing. Alright, well, I did get 63, so, alright, I was able to go, I don't know, can I go 100? And these things might be powerful enough and heavy enough that they can do it. So, it's just barely half a mile, though, so. But, like, I'm supposed to be there in 30 seconds. No, I was at like 40 or 50 at a half a mile out, so it should be okay here. So, again, I'm going to push it a bit. This is interesting because this looks like it's a platform that will allow me to stop across the street, which is not uncommon. That is something that is allowed and happens. So many times you'll be in town here and the train will be sitting there across the road. Which you can see, Harlem Avenue, the next one, is 0.32 miles away. But good news is, I think we hit this one, yeah, within 9 seconds, so strangely, I think I did better making up time here than I did with anything else, so. Next stop, Harlem. So, get ourselves moving. Again, as long as I'm not above 40 at, say, you know, a quarter mile or something, I should be good. But now then we've got a little ways to go after that, so this looks like a bigger platform, so I don't think I'm even going to start slowing down until I hit the platform. Hopefully I won't regret it, but I think I'll be fine. So 54:05, I may actually be ahead. Probably not. It's stopping, but I'll be darn near on time. So I will take it. Now I'm not sure how far we have to the next one, but I'll worry about that as I get ready to move. Yeah, definitely the right kind of homes, bordering the tracks, just the intersect, like everything, you know, the fences are what you see at the metro stations. I just like how they've recreated everything. I think they've done an excellent job. All right, Riverside. All right, 1 mile. So not that far, but further than we've had. But I do like the fact that I think I am doing pretty well. I'm getting myself back on track here, so I'm gonna press it a bit. Because I assume, I don't know, I mean, being early could be bad too, but it shouldn't be too bad, and at this point we're not speeding up that much. But yeah, we've got a couple stations pretty close together again. And once again, a mile is, you know, further than you think. Oh, I love that sound. Very well done. Alright. So, hopefully I'm getting the hang of this. If not, we'll be past things, but again, this is a pretty big platform, so I'm already good where I'm at. But I think I'm going to have most of the train on anyway, if not all of it. So, I don't know that I could have done it any better. More importantly, I may be a bit early. Loving it. So this is exactly what I would have imagined it would be like. It's when I was a kid here in Chicago thinking, hey, what would it be like? This would be a fun job, I would think, although it could be a bit stressful, and I know sometimes, unfortunately, in a big city with the amount of folks you have around, every once in a while a train hits somebody, and I can't even imagine being the conductor with that, because, you know, again, you can't stop this train on a dime. I didn't let the brakes go early enough, so I lost myself some time there. Shame on me getting too excited in the euphoria of being a Metra engineer. But half a mile, again, I think we're doing good. I'm optimistic I can make it. But yeah, that's just got to be really traumatic, because you know you can't stop the train, and when you see somebody, you know, doing something now, it looks like we might be having a downhill here. So I'm going to be careful, because that's going to increase the time that I need to stop to some degree. So I don't want to not be able to do that. Better than I thought. Again, I'll only partly on the platform here, so just need to be careful there. Hopefully I won't lose anything, but we'll see. If I only get 40 points or something, you know, I'll know that's because I wasn't fully on the platform, and then I'll learn my lesson in the future for other scenarios, for when I do part 2, for example. I'm wondering if at this station we wait for 2 minutes. That seems to be going across a lot slower. And some of it might be that it's simply trying to get us a little bit back on time again. Because I did pull in here pretty early. You know, almost 30 seconds early, so that might be just some of what it's doing, is straightening me out a bit. Okay, Brookfield next. So, I wasn't expecting that. It looked like I had a lot more time. It gave me the full 63, so I guess I'm okay. But I also know now, going down that little grade, and now we're flat again. So Brookfield is where the famous Brookfield Zoo is at. So you could take the Metro from the city out here to the zoo if you wanted, and you can kind of now see about how long that would take you, because I'm sure these timetables are pretty accurate given everything else they've done. I'm sure they've kept to that. Alright, lower this down again. I think we're at a shorter platform now, so I do want to be careful. But should be pretty good. We'll be nicely on the platform. Definitely getting the hang of the timing and so forth, which is the biggest thing with any of these scenarios and any of these trains, is just understanding how to operate them appropriately. So given that I've not run any scenarios in this pack, it could be a testament to just, you know, how well engineered these locomotives are, that they're very intuitive in how to operate, and you can get a feel for them pretty quickly, not having spent a ton of time in them. So, now, whoops, I'm going to lower this down now so that I am ready. Next is Congress Park. I think that one was pretty close. 3/4 of a mile, so it's actually spread out a bit more than we've had recently. Now, I'm imagining we have 6 or 7 more to go. It seems like I've done a bunch, but I think that's just a little bit of a mental illusion that I'm falling into. But a little bit longer. So, looks like then after Congress, once we get to LaGrange, we got a couple that are closer together. I'll just be careful here. I don't want to, again, go too fast. At this point, I'm early. This was a little bit tricky in that I thought I was further out than I was, but I think I'll be alright. Looks like it's gonna work out. Alright. Now I need the brakes to engage. There we go. So I won't get all the way out, but well, I might actually stop pretty nicely, surprisingly still. Alright, it's taken a long time to get to 0 there. Don't understand what that was about, but at a downhill grade. That 0.5 I think is the steepest I've been in a while, that's for sure. So we've got a little bit here between Congress and I think it was LaGrange. But then the stop after that was pretty close. So we're getting a little more compact in the stops. I keep going the wrong way on the brakes suddenly. Don't know why. I don't want to roll, so I've got to be careful. Alright, LaGrange next. So yeah, it looks like maybe we're climbing. There's a bit of a grade for sure where we're elevated above the tracks to the right. Looks like there might be tracks to the left as well. So I'm thinking we might be, just like the roadway, we might be going over one of the interstates or something here. So we might be rising up. Looks like other train tracks actually. So just kind of trying to enjoy the scenery, but also keeping an eye on what my job is, which is driving this train in a way that works. So let me do that before I, again, leave these poor people in LaGrange without a train, but I think we'll be alright. Bit of a longer platform again. So, makes up for my enthusiasm. Back in a little town setting again, but not small enough that we have to cross the road. So we can fit in between. But I almost feel like if it wasn't snowing, I'd be able to clearly see that platform basically a quarter mile away. But right now I don't have great visibility, so I really can't see it that easily. Stone Avenue is next. Probably exactly what the conductor will say, but I don't know. Alright, so I'm gonna get this down, then we'll get the brakes closer to off. We're at 0% now, so I'm probably a little more comfortable that I can back off and won't roll. And look at that, Stone Avenue is next. That is exactly what he said, which is a little funny. But I'm assuming the perfect score again is like 1,000, and I'm not close to that, so I need several more stops, that's for sure. So there it is. We will engage the brakes as we roll in. A couple ladies, a couple gentlemen sitting there. Yeah, these shelters don't provide a lot of shelter from this kind of weather, I'll tell you that. Having spent many hours under them of my life. I guess they're nice when it rains, assuming the wind isn't blowing at all, but you pretty much just kind of expect to be a little bit uncomfortable on the train platforms. It's just kind of the nature of how it works. So again, get myself lowered down. We'll see what we need to do. This will get us into the upper 700s, but I probably want at least 3 or 4 more stops to really have a good chance at getting a score over 900. Alright, we'll get that going. Highball for Western Springs. I assume that means we got a ways to go, and no? I don't know what that means. I thought that was just going to mean go really fast for a long time, but we're only 1.2 miles away. I mean, it's further than we've had for a while. Now, this is the afternoon. I didn't take a lot of trains mid-afternoon like this. It was usually early in the morning or late at night, because I did work along with school as well, and so pretty much left at 5 a.m. and was home at midnight. I'm going to probably keep going here, because my ETA right now is right on. So you can see, even though I've done pretty well, it is something you got to just stay on top of. So half a mile, and then we've got the Highlands platform. Get myself slowing down some there. So I'm going faster than the 40 I'm used to. Alright. Don't want to blow by, so I think it's time to engage the brakes and let it do its thing. Wow, yeah, this will be interesting. I think I'll be alright, but I hit that platform going 40. It is, again, split across the intersection. I'm feeling more comfortable now. But I will tell you, there was a bit of nervousness there, that is for certain. Now, it's that last little bit. There we go. So, ended up a bit early. Always good. But yeah, 126 is going to get us just above 900. So this stop in the next one should get me there. So we're obviously getting close to the end of the line. It's possible the next one is, but I don't think so. I think I got one more, which means I should be able to get into the 960, 970 range. Which would be nice. Alright. Clear. Highlands is next. And there's just been so much going on. Usually I try to read the prompts as I go through the scenarios, just to make sure everybody gets it, because you might be watching it on a small device that makes it really hard to read. But there's been so much going on that I just really need to focus on what's happening as opposed to what's going on with the storyline. Plus, I'm not used to that. A lot of the scenarios are pretty bland. They're just kind of go here, go next. So it's a bit surprising. Alright, Highlands, and I think Hinsdale is it after that. I think that's what it said we were going to. And that would make sense, because otherwise I think I'd have too many points. And while too many points is not a problem, you know, it's something. So that was weird, because now it seems like I'm a lot closer than I should be to slowing down, so I don't know. This is a smaller platform. But once again, I just need some of the cars on the platform. I don't need them all. And Hinsdale's about half a mile away. And I think my run is done. So, still a bit early, 10 seconds early. Parking garage over there. A lot of the metro stations have it, especially if it's a populous suburb. Thinking this is just an Amtrak coming through. So this line, yeah, does have a lot of additional trains. Not that the Northwest line doesn't get freight, but a lot of times the Northwest line is just 2 tracks. So you've just got the space for the commuter trains. There really isn't anything for the pass-through like there is here. So that may also be part of why they selected this particular route to be, you know, the Chicago route they've worked on and put in the game. I'm not sure. Again, there's some racetrack I think we're going to out in Aurora. I believe there's a horse track out there. But, you know, that might be it too. Some of the scenery and what happens toward the other end of the line. close. Slowed down here. Almost looks like the snow is starting to cover the platform. Well, luckily we've got a bit of a split platform again, so we'll be over the road a bit, which is okay. Open the doors, and I believe this will end my run. Well, I've done pretty well. 970 should get me whatever the top honors might be for this scenario, I would think. So I'd say I did pretty well. But maybe 63 isn't available here at the end. I don't know. I mean, I was 11 seconds early, so I shouldn't have a timeliness issue of any kind. Alright, and part 2, all stops to Aurora. You'll be continuing the journey of train 1233 to its final destination. But I have completed it successfully. So there we go. I was speeding. Alright, so I was late 16 seconds on the one platform where I got a bit of a delay, so that's basically my 30 points that I lost. It's between early speeding and so forth. But again, I got gold stars, so I think I did well. Definitely enjoyed it. Hope you did as well. If you like this, and certainly if you like train simulator videos, I'd appreciate a comment along with a like, certainly, because I do tend to see, I don't see as many views for these, so this does tend to fall to the bottom of what I look at doing if I'm picking between various sims to go ahead and do some work on. But if you're missing these and felt it was too long between one and this one, absolutely let me know, and then at least I can keep that in mind as I try to determine where I spend my time. But I appreciate you riding along, and I'll see you next time.